Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. Once again, everyone signed in or fill out the speaker form if you'd like to speak. Okay, so welcome to Board 3 SLA meeting for June of 2025. Before we get started, there's going to be I just want to go over a few ground rules. There's people here in person. There are actually going to be people on Zoom as well. We have to respect everyone's opinion. We're laughing, we're talking back, no name calling, no cursing, any of that stuff that you respectful of everyone. And we're going to then move through the items, hopefully quickly and easily. We are down to 6 items tonight, so I don't think it's going to be because we're too bad of a meeting.
Things happen.
There are items that are withdrawn. Number 2, pardon me, Whiteboard Hospitality Group at 162 Orchard has withdrawn. KP Square, Walkabout Entertainment, 157 to 171 Christie Street has withdrawn. Number 6, AIK Hospitality, 92 Ludlow Street has withdrawn. And number 11, up there at 302 Brooklyn Street has withdrawn. If you were to any of those items, they will not be heard tonight. They may be back at a certain time in the future. To watch the agendas, will not be heard tonight. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. We have 2 items that I think are going to be fairly quick that we're going to take first out of order. The first item is going to be number 8, St. Dipna's, 113 Avenue A. The applicant's here in person for St. Dipna's. If you are here, if you're the applicant online, please raise your hand. Yes. Enlarge the whole screen. So yeah. Speak to this item. We're going to hear. I'm going to give a brief summary, and we're going to hear from the applicants. DJ, any other one here from the applicants?
I flag that I have a potential conflict and financial conflict of interest in this item. So I will not be participating in discussion, nor will I be voting.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay. And Daniel, here.
Hello. Hey, this is Daniel.
Can we change this? Gallery. There. Yeah, there. I think it's just because they're sweating. Okay, perfect. Hi guys, I'm going to give a quick summary. I'm going to hand it over to you. I think this one hopefully should be fairly simple. St. Dipna's LLC doing business at St. Dipna's is seeking for premises license for the premises located at 117 Avenue 7th Street in St. Mark's. It's an application for an establishment of 74 people, 20 tables, 45 seats, 1 bar with 8 stools, full kitchen serving, traditional Irish food, all its operation. 28 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. The applicant has been at this location since 2018. Prior to that, he was around the corner on the St. Mark's Place. There were 27 commercial noise complaints at this location with police action since 2022. At the moment, we received no support or opposition for this item. There were no petitions for this. Who did this resolution? Or the, go.
I didn't see it.
They have petitions. Did we have petitions for this item?
Out of the
Did you get petitions?
Yes.
You send them in?
It was sent to the board office this morning.
Oh, this morning. We probably missed it because doing things the day out is hard to keep track of. So
I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's weak.
I can't.
Let me look and see.
Susan's gonna look. So Susan's gonna look for the on the other computer while we go ahead and move forward. They are asking for hours of opening at 2 p.m., closing at 4 a.m. all day, not using outdoor space for commercial use, close any doors and windows at 10 p.m. Offering bathroom for music only, no other drink specials, pub crawls, happy hours until 8, no wait lines, a designated employee for recording noisy crowd, etc. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to you. I would say, I mean, just give a brief little description of what's happening is pretty simple, I think.
Is that directed towards me? I'm sorry, I missed, what was the
No, I'm
question?
sorry, Clint, it's really hard to hear you. I apologize.
I just need, can you turn off the TV too, so we can get it? Okay. Is it about the microphone?
No, it's just every time you speak, it echoes like crazy, like you're underwater.
Is this any better?
Yes.
I think so, yes.
Okay, so can you give us just, you know, a little quick synopsis of what you're actually doing? I mean, I know what you're doing, but just give it so that everyone has a benefit here.
I'm sorry, we don't have.
Is that directed at, so,
No, I got it, Dan, I got it, Dan, I got
okay.
it.
So one, before we do that, can one of you send a petition? Susan just checked Ed's email and said she does not see any petitions from anyone.
I can forward while we're on the phone. We definitely did it.
Thank you. Forward them to me while you're doing that, Frank.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to answering from us.
Forward them to Ed, forward them to Ed's email address, Frank, and Susan will print them out so we can see them quickly.
Forward to Ed?
Forward them to Ed's. Okay, so sorry for interrupting. Go ahead and just give us a brief summary.
What's happening here is we're keeping this business in the family. Brendan McElroy, who's been on the application on the license for years, is basically transferring to his brother. Nothing changes. All steps stay the same. Operation stays the same. No changes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once.
I do two things in 1 second that. Yeah, so basically it's a pretty simple application. And, you know, Brendan, again, it's actually one quick thing. Can you speak to the 27311 call with police action in the last 2 years?
In the last 2 years?
Greetings.
Or 4 years, I guess, yeah, so it's 2022, sorry.
And how many did you say, Clint?
It was 27.
Well, I wasn't aware of that, to be honest.
Do you have a response to that, Daniel, at all, or?
Oh, sorry about, I'm sorry, it is hard to hear, so I didn't realize you were directing that at me, I apologize. I wasn't aware of those either, but I mean, going forward, I will definitely do everything I can to make sure that everyone, all of my neighbors are happy with the operation here. I want to stay here. I'm a member of the community and I want to just, you know, I want all my neighbors to be happy with me and I want to have a good relationship with them. And
So the one thing I would just like to add is, I think on this block, you're probably the least problematic bar on this block. So, you know, there's a lot of other issues going on that really, I don't think you're not a problem. The one thing that I will say is, you know, I've noticed, and I don't know why you have this, but you have velvet ropes or stanchions, not velvet ropes as much, but stanchions out in front for lines. I don't think I ever see people lining up. I see people standing out there behind the stanchions smoking, but you're not supposed to have lines or any of that outside. I think that just encourages people kind of hanging out and standing there. I'm not sure if you're putting them out there to try to keep people, the smokers, out on the street, or what your purpose is, but you know, you're not to have lines, so not that I see lines, but I see the velvet ropes or stanchions.
okay, I mean, we were using those, but if that is any kind of issue whatsoever, like we're happy to no longer use the stanchions.
But that being said, you still need to keep the sidewalk clear. You can't have a line. And I've seen where you're going and doing a pretty good job of keeping people. So it's not a huge problem, but just remember that your stipulations are that you can't have lines.
Copy that. I understand. I will, we won't, we'll use those just to control the crowd and not to have any kind of lines or anything like that.
Skip them. Sure. Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item? Please raise your Zoom hand, and anyone here, I don't think there's anyone here in person. Okay, there's no one here from the public, no one on Zoom, so, okay. I mean, I'm satisfied, it's generally a fairly simple application. Does anyone on the committee have any questions about this? That being said, is everyone comfortable with moving to a vote or resolution with the stipulations that's presented in the application?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Megan made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Yes.
Yeah, seconds. Okay. So Frank, I'm going to throw these stipulations up on the screen quickly. Just so you see what they are.
There's a discrepancy in the application with the hours and the hours in Google. I don't know if that's something to bring up.
Well, they're out, what's the
It's
Google hours?
4 a.m. every day. Here it says 4 a.m. Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, they can have less hours, but their hours, their original stipulations were 4 a.m. every day, so they're still consistent with that.
So I found the petitions, I'm trying to print them out now, they're in a form, that's taken a long time.
Okay.
But the reason we didn't see them is because it doesn't say anywhere that these are petitions, and when you open it up, all you see is the newspaper and stuff, and then if you keep going, you find the petition, so if you put in the email that they're petitions and send them, you know, the preceding week would be very helpful, thank you.
Okay, I have the stipulations up. I'm just gonna try to make them larger for all of us. Okay, that should be a little better. Okay, and Daniel, are you the one, will you be the one signing it, Brandon? I'm sorry, Daniel, Brandon was the one to sign the last one.
Right. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Will you be the one signing the stipulation form? Or whose name should be at the top as part of the corporation or the?
Mom, I believe my name, right, Frank?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to read this. It keeps jumping and I'm only getting the first 5, 6.
I was moving it around, but I think we'll be stable now, hopefully.
Okay.
So Daniel, I'm sorry, what's the last name?
MCELROY.
Okay. Daniel McElroy, qualified representative of St. Dickman's LLC, located 117 Avenue A, will operate a full service restaurant.
Oh, and do the license, you go like beer cider.
Yeah. And operate a full service restaurant. Is it a tavern license?
Oh, it's a restaurant. It's a full kitchen.
Just made with kitchen open serving food during the hours of operation. Hours of operation will be 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. all days. Will not use outdoor space for commercial use. Will close front and rear facade doors at 10 p.m. every night. Will not have DJs. You will have live music, no third-party promoted events, any event which a cover fee is charged. And I think on the original, yeah, you did it.
Number 5 was blank.
Shut off because that was the original. You will not apply for filtration without coming to CB3. And then the 5 is blank. Oh. Yeah, so I think like even on your last stipulations, I have your other copy from here in the past. You will employ doorman security. You didn't have that checked off. I mean, I know you have a doorman. So do you want to put that you'll have a doorman?
Yes, we'll have a doorman.
And do you have that every night?
Not every night, but we have security.
Well, so I think we're going to avoid, in fact, probably imagine this, we're going to avoid putting security because that entails a whole different definition at the end.
No. So sorry, doorman. Yeah.
So we're going to say doorman, and is it specific nights?
Right now, just the Friday and Saturday busy nights. It was.
Friday, Saturday. Okay.
It's the only nights that it's necessary. Yeah.
So we got that. Moving down below, everything else, no pub cross party buses, no unlimited drink specials. You will have a happy hour that will end by 8. No wait lines, staff person to ensure no loitering, noise, or crowds. For post stipulation, residents may contact the owner manager. And again, should this be you, Daniel?
Yes, this should be me.
Can I ask a question, Clint? I apologize for interrupting.
Yes.
I don't remember with your board. If we say 10, but open at 12, that's a problem, right?
Yes, so it's opening no later than, so if you say 10, you're
That should be
supposed to-
noon. I think that should be noon. The 10 a.m. is kind of optimistic.
Okay.
And we may very well do it. But for now, I think we should say noon.
So that's fine, no problem, but if you're not gonna be open by 10, I think it's a good idea to probably change that. Does anyone on the committee have a problem changing that to noon?
No.
Okay, so you want to change it to 12 to 4 all days.
Correct, please.
Okay, I'll do that right now. Okay, 12 PM to 4 AM all days. And Danny, what's your phone number?
716-783.
Yeah.
5536.
Okay, perfect. Okay, everything else on the stipulation form look good and what we agreed to?
Looks good to me.
Looks good to me.
We will move to a committee vote. Stephen Ballinger,
Present not voting.
thank you. Megan Joy,
Yes.
Quinn Smeltzer, yes. Guillermo Zuniga?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We will be sending out the stipulation with instructions to return to the office and you're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item. We have another item that is also going to be hopefully fairly quick. I see someone with their hand up.
Yeah.
Did she have her hand up for that last item? I didn't see it.
It's always in order.
Okay, thank you. Bridget, I saw your hand, but maybe if it's for another item, we will get to you last. Okay, can you move those promote?
Oh, yes.
Move Daniel and Frank and promote.
Yeah.
Are the applicants here for number 10, PDF Dreams, 162 Avenue A10 Kitchen? Please raise your Zoom hand.
Can you move the co-host?
Oh.
I just made it full,
Okay.
so just I need some reps.
Yeah. Okay, it should be a co-host.
Okay.
So, yes, if you're here, the applicant or the representative for 162 Avenue A, please raise your Zoom hand and we'll get you promoted.
Passing.
I think you're the applicant. We know our for that day, the applicants.
You speak.
Kathleen, I can see you speaking, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can, yes, now you're good.
Great. Okay, I don't know what was going on there. Okay, yeah, I'm the attorney and my client, Pragati Pandey is also on.
We should have Pragati promoted as well. Pragati, I think you're unmuted. Can you hear us and speak?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Pragati is here. They could speak if they can hear us. Now they can hear us.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let me text her just real quickly.
You're unmuted. Are you able to speak just to make sure before we get started?
Yeah, you can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And Pragati here on video, so we're getting closer.
okay, okay, there we go.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, there we go.
And so, Pragati, are you able to speak?
My name is Pragati Pandey, and
Great.
Kathleen is my attorney, and she's going to speak on my behalf.
Yes, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give a quick summary of your application and I'm gonna turn it over to you for anything you would like to add or. Okay, PDF Dreams LLC doing business as PT's A10 Kitchen is seeking an on-premises license and the sale of assets for the premises located at 162 Avenue A between 10th and 11th Street. It's an application for 74 people, 16 tables and 50 seats, including a stand-up bar, full kitchen, serving food during all hours of operation, no televisions, background music only. There are 7 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location was previously a restaurant, also under the name of A10 Kitchen. had a full liquor license. This applicant has never had a license, but has some experience working in the food hospitality industry. Maybe you could just give us a tiny bit about that when you get a chance. And 15 residents to live within 2 blocks of location signed a petition in favor. They are proposing hours of 11 a.m. and closing by 12 a.m. Sundays through Wednesdays, and closing at 1 a.m. Thursdays through Saturdays. They're closed all outdoor dining allowed in the open restaurants program by 10. Close outdoor windows at 10. I'll be out recorded music only. They have a happy hour until 8 p.m. every night. No unlimited specials included busy brunches. And that's basically it. Again, they are taking over, and I think they intend to keep the same stipulations and the same method of operation as the previous establishment. So I'm going to hand it over to you and let you give us just a brief summary of what you're proposing.
Yes, okay, thank you. So yes, we will have the same operation as the previous establishment. Actually, they're open until 2 a.m. We're only going to stay open until 1 a.m. Just one correction, it's 19 tables and 41 seats, because after I gave you that application, the person who did the plan sent them to me, and it's actually 19 tables, 41 seats, and 8 stools at the bar.
Okay. You said 41?
Yeah, 41 seats, 19 tables, 41 seats, and 8 stools at the bar. So my client is she's keeping the entire staff, the chef is remaining, the manager's remaining, so she's really not changing any operation here at all. The method of operation will be exactly the same. There'll be no changes in the menu. It's going to be the same menu as always been served. In regard to my client's experience, she does have limited experience, and her experience actually here is limited. She has experience in the country that she came from in both the hospitality with wine, with alcohol and food. But as I said, she's keeping the manager who's been there for 5 years. That manager will remain. The chef is remaining. She's going to sign up for the ATAP class to take that. She's going to learn the business and rely on other people as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there anything you'd like to add, or is it?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, if there was anything, yeah, you want to add. No, that's okay too.
So, yes, so I'm planning to open all 7 days, and so I would be hiring a few more employees for Mondays. And also eventually, not immediately, but eventually want to add some more items in food menu, and like anything to improve business.
Okay, thank you. So the one thing I would like to add, and I think you probably need to correct this on your application to the SLA as well. You did not check off that there's a church on your block. And that church recently has been confirmed by the SLA, and for another application was actually across the street. They did verify that it is a fully operational church. I know there's been a license at this location for quite a while. I know that the church is also quite old, so I'm not sure how exactly that happened, but I know at least the 2 prior businesses, well, 810 and then 2 prior businesses that all had full licenses. So I'm not sure, I'm not saying that's an issue right now, because the prior businesses had a license as well. However, you probably just need to make sure your application is correct, and that there is a church within 200 feet.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, can you tell me, are you talking about the church that's directly
Just like one storefront on to the north of your location. It's the Alpha and Omega Church.
Okay, because there are 2 churches. One is 202 feet away. That's a church, a full church. The second one is a church that is a mixed use. There's apartments above it.
Yeah, so they did a full investigation about 6 months ago and said it is absolutely not a mixed use. The apartments above are for the pastor or the church staff. They actually interviewed the pastor and the staff that worked there, and they confirmed that it was a full. So that's going on an SLA ruling.
Okay.
I know that at least the previous business, the Asian Kitchen, plus 2 prior businesses, Flinders Lane and Beagle, I think all had liquor licenses. So again, if the location was licensed prior to the church, even though the church is fairly old, I'm not sure. I don't think it's an issue, but I'm just saying you probably need to correct that on your application.
Okay, thank you.
Information is correct.
Okay, thank you.
The thing I would like to point out is. I walk by that often and. During brunch on the weekends, I think sometimes for happy hour or the previous business happy hour, there have been lines. I have some pictures of the lines. You're not allowed to have lines, you can't block the sidewalk. For a while, they were having a street, the roadbed dining, and then we had tables along the curb. That is not permitted. I hope you. So between you and the horse section on the corner, it got really crowded and it was very difficult to get through.
And hear properly.
Yeah, it's very hard to hear. It sounds like you're underwater, but I do understand what you're saying. We are aware that there are wait lines there that have to be dispersed.
Yeah.
So we do have a plan to have as many people inside as possible. And then if there's anybody waiting, we'll take their phone numbers and we'll have somebody on the sidewalk, not allowing them to remain there.
And I, previous business at one point was doing unlimited brunches. You have the stipulations that they sign and that you're signing are saying no unlimited drink special with food, so you're not allowed to do the boozy brunches.
Got it.
Right, okay.
Okay, so just wanted to clarify those 2 points. And again, not major things, but just making sure that you're aware of what the stipulations actually are.
Okay, got it.
Yes,
Thank you.
got it, thank you.
And is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item?
Is a hand up.
Okay, I see one hand, Laura Sewell.
They do a round talk or panel.
I'm just, I can, I'm ready to put right here. I can be doing. Okay, Laura, you've been promoted as a panelist. And I'm sorry about the audio. I'm actually using this hand mic, so I thought that would be better, but
It's on, right?
yeah, it's on.
Hello, I'm Laura Sewell. I'm the director of the East Village Community Coalition, and I'm also a member of the North Avenue 8 Block Association. So, welcome to the block. I did want to just confirm some of the things that Clint mentioned, and especially the lines, between that establishment and the other one, Horace, on the corner, it can get really clogged up there. So it's something that really needs to be kept an eye on. And, we definitely appreciate having food service within an hour of closing. I think that's very important for us in the neighborhood. Just because, I don't know how much time you've spent there, but Avenue A does kind of blow up on the weekends. And it's something that we just want to be sure you're aware of, and that you're just going to make extra care, to make it be a nice contributing neighborhood restaurant and make sure that the crowds are under control. The reservation system is definitely the way to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people even line up, like the bagel store across the street. It's just kind of become a thing. But it does make it hard for the neighbors. So I just wanted to add that, and thank you, Clint, for your comments.
I totally understand, Laura, and we will totally fully take care of this and try to make as comfortable as possible for our neighbors and our community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. And anyone else or anyone here in person? Okay, seeing none. We're going to go ahead. Anyone in the committee have any questions or comments about this item?
I just wanted to say, ask, this is going to be the complete same business, complete same name and everything, correct?
Yes, it's the same exact business. She probably will put PDs in front of A10 Kitchen, so it'll probably be.
It is going to be that. So the
PDs,
new name will be
A10
A10 Kitchen.
Right, but otherwise, everything will be the same, yes.
Okay. Okay. That's everything. Everyone okay with moving to a motion for the stipulations?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the stipulations up on the screen just so we'll go through them so you are aware of what you're agreeing to. So I, Vergati Pandy, as a representative of PDS Dreams LLC, located 162 Avenue A, will operate a full liquor license with a full service restaurant, specifically an American restaurant, with kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Sunday to Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. You will close all outdoor dining allowed in the open restaurants program at 10 p.m. You don't have doorman or security. It's already existing, and I don't think we've had any major sound complaints or anything, so I don't think you need soundproofing. You'll close any front doors or front or rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. You will not have DJs, live music, third-party promoted events, any event in which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. You'll play on the recorded background music only, will not apply for an alteration. Without coming for CB3, will not participate in pub crawls or party buses, no unlimited drink specials. You will have a happy hour that will end by 8. You will not have wait lines out. You have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering, noise, or crowds. You will post a stipulation by your liquor license, resume, contact the owner number below. Forgotten Kennedy at 917-678-2245.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna move to a committee vote. Stephen Ballinger?
Yes.
Megan Joy?
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Yes. Okay, so the motion passes. The office will be sending you out the stipulations with instructions on signing and returning. And I think you're all set. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so now we are moving on to number 4. Actually, it's going to be number 4 and 5 because they're both for 9 Orchard Food and Beverage subtenant and then 9 Orchard Hotel subtenant. The applicant's here for 9 Orchard, number 4. Okay. Are you the applicant or
One of the
one of the applicants? Okay. Which are you for here?
There's some hands.
Orchard Street Hotel Management and Orchard Street Restaurant Management.
Okay, there's people here that.
Yes. So also raise your hand if you are online. We'll get everyone promoted so we can figure out everyone's going.
Okay.
Okay.
Clint, I'm here,
I know.
how are
I
you?
may, just because of the 2 applicants, maybe if you want to give me a quick little summary between the 2, and then we can address them each individually, or?
Yeah, sure. Hold on, let me just get to the right screen. Yeah, so there are 2 transfer applications, both involving the same hotel. So DLJ and the current 9 Orchard team, represented by Andy and Adam, who are there, are completing a recapitalization of the project, and they're adding MMI, represented by Thomas and Peter, who I believe should be on. Yeah, there's Peter. Okay. So this is going to be filed as a transfer application, but the existing team that's been operating is going to be staying for now on the license. So when the hotel was first licensed, I think in 2018, it was broken up into 2 licenses. There is a hotel license that covers let me just look at my notes. It covers the ground floor and floors 3 through 12, which are the guest rooms. Then there is a separate on-premises license that we filed that covers the second floor, the portion of the ground floor, the second floor, and the 14th floor. Back in 2018, the current owner signed a rather detailed and lengthy stipulation. It's 3, I assume you have it, Clint. It's 3 single-spaced pages going through the method of operation for each of the food and beverage spaces throughout the hotel. The 2 applications were combined into one single stipulation, even though there were 2 applications. We called the community board office. We were asked to submit 2 questionnaires, which was fine, so we did. Pretty much all of the existing stipulation will apply and continue to apply. There are no material changes that we are making. The only tweak that we wanted to make relates to the second floor indoor space and the 14th floor space. Under the current license, that is intended for private events only, not to be used by the public. That was always the intent from the beginning, and that's incorporated into the stipulation. Going forward, we'll continue to use those spaces for private events, but we would like to make them available for hotel guests. So if you're a hotel guest and there's no event, we'd like the hotel guests to be able to access it. And if there's room beyond what the hotel guests are using, by reservation only, we would allow members of the public to come in. We don't think that that's going to cause any material change. In fact, as I see it, when you have a private event, that impacts the community more than the sort of coming and going of people when it's open to the public, and it's for hotel guests. They're not even going outside. They're just taking an elevator up. Everything else, the hours, the limitation on music, the layout, everything else is the same. We had done an acoustic study back in 2018. We had done a traffic study. There's no material change that would result in the change of any of those studies. We've attached those to what you have, and that's pretty much it. We did the outreach. We contacted all the block associations. I understand that the Orchard Street Block Association, which is the only group that had concerns back in 2018, they're no longer active. They wrote us back and told us that they're no longer active.
I think yes, I think you are correct. Okay, I think that's a pretty good summary. Thank you for that, Donald. Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item? Please raise your Zoom hand, and anyone here in person? Seeing none. No. Okay, and I see. Okay. So anyone from the committee have any questions, comments? Good luck. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. Yeah. So, I mean, we do have the stipulation form here. I'm just thinking about this. Originally, I think it was one stipulation form. We have two separate ones. I'm just wondering, because you are changing the second and the 14th floor, we probably need a stipulations for that. So I'm going to go through these. How about that? I'm going to go through the stipulation forms quickly just so you see them. And then I will send these to you, incorporating the original stipulations as well, just to make sure everything lines up. So basically, we're not going to change anything. I'll just go through the changes on here so you see them. And then once we send them to you, if there's something not right, we can discuss that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
This is a little complicated. Okay, so let me share. This is going to be for the 9 Orchard food and beverage subtenant. So the first one. And this is going to be, I guess, Peter McGuire was the signatory on that. So let me share this. Okay. Make it a tiny bit bigger. So it's Peter McGuire, it's representative of the 9 Orchard food and beverage subtenant. Located 9 Orchard Street, will operate a full liquor license, will operate a restaurant with event and meeting spaces. The hours of operation will be 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Sunday.
Is this for the OP license or the hotel?
This is I think this is the OP, the food and beverage subtenant.
Okay. All right.
With the ground space on Allen and Canal, 7 a.m. to midnight, Sunday through Wednesday for the 14th floor exterior, and 7 a.m. to midnight daily. You will close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurant program by 10 p.m. You will employ security and personnel. Soundproofing, I mean, soundproofing is already installed. You will close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. And in this case, because I know it was for the event spaces, all of those, there was DJs, live music, all of that stuff was originally part of it.
Right.
Not applied for alteration for coming to CB3. Not to the public or party buses, no unlimited drink specials. You will have a happy hour that will end by 8 p.m. Did they not check off wait lines? So
I don't, here, I can double check it, but
that's fine. We'll check off when I have wait lines. Did you, was that on the original one, Don?
What is it? Which section?
Wait lines.
would it be on there 4 or the 5?
I'll confirm the original one too before I send it to you. How about that?
Yeah, I have to look.
And then we'll have staff person responsible
Yeah.
and stipulations. Does everything look good with that?
It's hard to read, but from what you said, it sounded okay. But if you send it to me, I'll take another look.
So, I think everything we go, yeah, I'll make sure it matches up with what you originally signed with the exception of what we do probably need to put in here is, I guess would be, we'll do it at the bottom under this last. Yes, and as you said, the second floor and the 14th floor, which was previously for private events only, will be open to hotel guests
And the public by reservation.
and then public with reservation if space allows.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we just, to make it easier, we'll vote on this one committee, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Stephen Ballinger,
Yes.
Megan Joy,
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes.
Yes, and they do say security personnel and.
Yeah. Okay, so then essentially the next one is for the hotel, and really nothing is changing on that one at all, correct?
Yeah, that's the same. No changes there. I think the only public space for the hotel licenses is a portion of the ground floor.
That's the lobby area of the ground floor, correct?
The licenses is obviously 24/7 because it covers the rooms.
So I guess a committee, because this is exactly as it was before, and what we just read with the exception of the second and 14th floor. Are you, Donald, are you okay if we don't go through these stipulations, that it's gonna be exactly the same without that exception? And then we can, your committee, is that okay with you, is everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll vote just to be official, so Steve Ballinger,
Yes.
Megan Joy,
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Yeah, was good, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so Donald, I'm sending these again, I'm gonna make sure when I do send it that it lines up with the original, with the exception of the change we discussed.
Say that one more time. It's hard to hear.
I'll be sending you these stipulations, and I'll make sure that they do line up with the original stipulations, with the exception of that change we discussed, which was the second and 14th floor.
Right. Now, the only other thing is that I don't know that you ever activated the basement. Adam, are you there? Did you ever activate the basement? Because I think the stipulation covers the basement. I don't think it does.
It's on the bottom. This light here, push on that.
No.
No, push on this, on the light, on that, and push it up, and it should come on. There we go.
Wow, that's hard.
All right, thank you, Donald. No, there's no operations in the basement.
Okay, so we're not changing anything with that.
Okay.
Okay. Stipulations, and then let me know if something on there if we have questions. I think it should be pretty simple, straightforward.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now we're on to number 7, which is Studio 6,
You guys can go.
Newton Street. Just, yeah.
Scan.
Yeah. Okay, so is the applicant here in person? And if you're on Zoom, please raise your Zoom hand and we'll get you promoted. I see Frank.
Sorry, what address is this?
106 Rivington Street.
Well,
Good evening again.
Hi, Frank.
there's two people who want to talk.
Okay. Is your applicant here, Frank? Do you know?
Yes,
I think we're looking.
You're joining.
please get on the Zoom.
Is Sheila the Sheila your applicant, right?
Yes,
Okay. Great, so I'm gonna give a quick summary and then I'll hand it over to you. Studio 6 Collective doing business as Studio 6 is seeking a beer wine license in the premises located at 106 Rivington Street between Essex and Ludlow. It's an application for an establishment and it wasn't listed on the questionnaire, but I assume it's 74 people, right?
yes, it's not a big place.
That's 74 people with 4 tables, 24 seats, one 8x8 bar serving finger foods from less than a full service kitchen during all hours of operation, 2 televisions, DJs and live music at entertainment level. There are 45 full on premises licenses within 500 feet. This location is currently unlicensed and was previously denied a full license by the SLA, previously due to oversaturation of the area and application of the 500-foot rule. The applicant has never previously been a licensed holder, but has worked as a manager at a steakhouse in Florida. We received a letter in opposition from the Lower East Side dwellers due to the unlicensed location and oversaturation of the area, as well as numerous other problems. 46 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition in favor. They're proposing to operate as an art gallery. Hours of operation will be opening no later than 4 p.m., closing by 12 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, and 2 a.m. Opening no later than 4 p.m. and closing by 12 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, and 2 p.m. closing by 12 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Will not use outdoor space for commercial use. Closing new front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. Male background for music, and will have live music, DJs at entertainment level, but no third-party promoted events, scheduled performances, any event at color fee is charged. Will not apply for any alteration without coming to CB3, no party calls or pub buses. Sorry about that. No unlimited drink specials, will not have happy hours, no lines. Staff to ensure no noise loitering or crowd, post stipulations by the license, and provide a telephone number. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to you for a moment to go ahead and add anything you'd like to add?
But if you wouldn't mind, could you guys promote Seth?
Yeah.
He's got his Zoom hand up.
Thank you. Yes, he's trying to get on the call.
Yes, he's.
Okay. Okay, you should be joining momentarily.
Thank you.
Veins connected.
Okay, Seth, I thought that joined as a panelist, but there, okay, I think he's coming back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I apologize. I'm here. I'm trying to get my face on screen.
Okay.
Sheila, don't say anything about him, but what we were saying before. Don't.
Definitely. All good, Seth. Definitely.
All right. Well, I combed my hair and I got the haircut. I'm having an issue getting on.
Camera's not working, that's okay. We can move on.
I apologize. I can hear you and you can hear me. Please continue.
So I'm not sure if you heard, I gave a quick summary of your application based on what you submitted on the questionnaire. If you would like to go ahead and I'm not sure if you heard that, if you would like to add anything or just anything you would like to summarize or clarify.
Yes, I'd like to amend the time to open at 2 p.m. on all days. I believe that we had
you had on
Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
You'd like to change that to 2 p.m. So basically it's now 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. all days.
That's correct.
Okay.
And closed Mondays.
Closed.
Okay, 2 p.m.
These premises are going to be an art gallery. We're doing a wine and beer license. We'll be having numerous art installations coming in, and it's an accommodation for our guests. And I'm sure it helps pay the bill. The rent bill.
Okay.
We would have gone for administrative approval. The only reason we couldn't was that occasionally the installations will have a DJ component.
Okay. So, and anything else that we definitely do have some people sign up to speak to this item. So if you have anything else, if not, we'll move to members of the public.
No, we're good.
So I know we have several people here in person. Maybe what we'll do is go through the Zoom first. So if you're here on Zoom to speak to this item, please raise your Zoom hand. I see some.
I'm sorry. Would you be able to try again to see if Seth can get in on the video portion of this?
Did he leave?
I don't know if it's something on his end or if you can just resend that that link.
Okay, I think we have everyone who wanted to speak as panelists.
So I'm gonna go through with the speakers. There's someone number, I guess they're just number six.
That's the Seth.
Okay, so Seth is number 6. He's back on as a panelist. I'm not sure. Seth, can you at least hear us?
I can hear you again. Zoom is having me quit and reopen, and the camera is not going on, but I can hear you and you can hear me.
So we're gonna go to Briar.
Yeah, hi. My partner and I are residents of Rivington Street. We've been here 25 years and just want to speak to the serious deterioration in the conditions that we experience living here over that period of time. And it really, really concerns me, the idea of having a fresh license in a previously unlicensed space, given the oversaturation and given the quality of life issues that we're dealing with constantly. I mean, and it's not just quality of life, it's safety actually for us and for our neighbors. My partner bakes bread, and that means he is out in the middle of the night, and he often is dealing with a lot of the issues that we're facing. There are people drunk, stumbling around, there are people getting into fights, and he's out during that time of day. And I just feel that adding another license, especially to an unlicensed space, when the recent precedent has been to not do that for good reason. So I would just like to say that I think that we shouldn't move forward with this license. It just doesn't make sense for us right now, given the situation that we're in here. So thanks for listening.
Great. Thank you, Briar. Okay, next we have Bridget Gannon. And just a reminder, I have a timer. Everyone gets 2 minutes to speak. So Brian did a great job keeping under that, but the timer goes off. I'll give you a quick reminder and please try to keep to 2 minutes. So Bridget, if you want to go ahead.
Sure, yes, I will keep it to 2 minutes, I promise. My name is Bridget Gannon. I'm a registered nurse, and I was born and raised right here on the Lower East Side. I've lived here literally for 39 years, and I'm here to speak in strong opposition to the liquor license application for Studio 6 at 106 Rivington. As you all very much know, we already have way too many bars packed into our neighborhood, and adding another one will only make the noise, congestion, and disruption worse for the people who actually live here. As a nurse and an often sleep-deprived LES resident, I know firsthand the impact that chronic noise and lack of sleep has on health. In fact, research shows that people living in noisy neighborhoods, like our neighborhood, die on average up to 5 years earlier. When we add bars to our neighborhood, we add noise. When we add liquor licenses to art galleries masquerading as bars masquerading as art galleries, we add noise. And we generally make the Lower East Side a less healthy place to live. I want to add the context that I am absolutely not anti-business. I believe deeply in supporting local business and building a strong local economy, but we absolutely, without a doubt, do not need more liquor licenses. We do not need more DJs, and we do not need more live music on the Lower East Side. And I'm asking that the committee vote no to Studio 6 to help us protect the character, the safety, and the livability of our neighborhood. We've hit a tipping point, and I'm asking you to listen to the people who actually live here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bridget. Okay, next we have Patrick Walsh. Patrick, if you want to go ahead and speak.
Can you hear me?
We can, Patrick, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Patrick Walsh. I've lived here for, 24 years with my wife and daughter. And have seen this neighborhood get crazier and crazier and crazier. The idea of yet another license given out in a place like this with, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, Clint, 45 licenses within 500 feet. Constant, endless noise, constant, endless drunks, constant, endless danger. On top of the idea that, I mean, this is a scam, a really brazen scam. I've got to hand it to these people. There is no legitimate art gallery that has a beer and wine license, no legitimate art gallery that has DJs, sells food, and has live music. This is a Trojan horse, and in solidarity with Bridget and Breyer, I adamantly implore you to reject this con job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Okay, that seems to be everyone on Zoom. So we have several people here in person. I'm going to just call them in order. Peter Sloan.
Yes. Yeah. I'm Peter Sloan. Wait, I'm using the microphone. That's. Thank you. I'm Peter Sloan. I've lived on the street for 20 years. And
sorry, that was
part of the Suffolk Street Block Association. I just wanted to be here in person to echo the thoughts of everyone who's spoken in opposition to it. You know, we're inundated, as everyone said, we're inundated with drunks and liquor licenses, and really just it makes me cringe to think of the idea of having yet another one, especially a new one, as people have said. And I hope you'll take into consideration the locals' desires and opinions about this. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Peter. Next, we have David Troutman.
Thank you. I'm David Troutman. I've lived on Orchard Street. We're in this neighborhood since 1985 and Orchard Street since 1991. And it is horrendous, the neighborhood. This past weekend, we had horns honking and traffic backed up until about 4:30 in the morning. We had people talking underneath our windows beyond that time. It's not just a burden on the community, but also on the police department, who just don't seem to be able to keep up with the problems that continually arise with the alcohol license that we have. So I think the state liquor authority got it right by denying in the past a space that's oversaturated and it's not had a license before. But the burden on the community is really enormous. Thank you.
Turn it on. Thank you, David. No. Okay, so next we have Deanna Boyd.
Sorry.
We understand this is this is a, as he said, a Trojan horse for beer and wine license, what we believe is going to be a liquor license. When he did the petitions, they should be voided. He went around saying that it was a gallery, did not put that there would be a DJ or live music. In fact, we reported that a local resident business owner said he came in saying that he was going to be a gallery, did not disclose anything else. So that on its face is not fair. This particular is personal to me, it's next to my home, so I'm only speaking for myself as well as the group. We know what's going to happen if you give this to them. This is going to be what they're going to come back in a year and ask for 4 a.m. and ask for, to be a full-on bar. No art gallery in New York City. I tangentially am involved in the art world. at 2 now and serves food and has a bar and has live music and DJs. They have events. Sometimes they have music, but that's not how it works. They get specialized from the SLA to serve wine and rent their gallery. On top of that, the back of this building share an enclosed space on Rivington, Ludlow, Stanton, and Essex. These are the people that actually live here that don't want this. We share the enclosed space. A couple of stalls are under now, but all of us share that back area. This would impact us so greatly. And also what was not disclosed, shared with you, was he already ran, I believe his name is Seth, and he goes by Sack 6 as the graffiti artist. He ran the Cheese Grill, illegal open space that we dealt with the SLA with and knows very well about. They were using the liquor license illegally on that space to have outdoor music. So all SLA knows that, the DOT knows that we finally got it shut down. Cheese Grill closed and continue to operate that place, serving liquor and having music. We know what we're gonna get. We're asking you to use. We know Frank is gonna stick it up to the SLA, but give us a chance to say no now. Let us go to the SLA and make sure this is ironclad. If they're gonna get that here wide administratively, that they're not gonna go beyond that. And we're willing to fight this legally with a lawyer and everything to figure out what's gonna happen here. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanne. Next, we have David Tano.
Hi, I'm Daniel Tano. I also live on this block, and I want to echo what Deanne said. I purposely chose the back of my building, but with everything happening, the sound from DJs and live music goes into that back space and echoes. Even from the hotel on Rivington, if they have an event in their upper space, it echoes back and comes into the back of our building across the street. The new restaurant across the street has the windows open with live music. It's adding, and all of these add up to a really low quality of life. We don't want a new liquor license. There shouldn't be a new liquor license on the block. There shouldn't be DJs. There shouldn't be live music added to already good businesses like the shoe store or the Gothenburger, like add to the craziness on the street with bad line management. And I want to add that what Deanne said with the 188 Allen Street shows that this operator doesn't manage lines properly, doesn't follow stipulations properly. So we think there should be a denial.
Thank you, Daniel. Next, we have Robert, is it Kamal? Kamal.
I have lived in my apartment on Ludlow Street, which is about 40 yards away from the post establishment, since 1978, 47 years. I've seen Ludlow Street before there were any bars there. When I first moved in, I would not allow anyone past Houston Street or Katz's Delicatessen because I went and got them. But it was a neighborhood. We had candle makers, shoemakers, butchers, little services, no bars. It was a neighborhood. Now I've seen it from nothing go to all the bars and where it is. It's not a neighborhood anymore. My apartment is my house. It's my home. And the sidewalk down below me is my backyard. And people come into my backyard, scream, yell, vomit, defecate, and then leave. I don't know who these applicants are. I work all day long to make some money. I come here, I don't get paid for this. That's their life. They're getting paid to do what they want to do. And let me ask you, what kind of management are they going to be if they can't get their asses down here in person to ask for the application? I came down here, I'm not getting paid. That's their life, they didn't even bother. And since they didn't come down, maybe they live not in the neighborhood, which means they come into the neighborhood, They make noise, they take all the money, take it out of the neighborhood. The kids go home to Jersey or Long Island, and they leave their vomit and their violence in my backyard. This building is not licensed for liquor. We don't need another one. When I was growing up, I used to go to Greenwich Village to the book clubs in the 1950s. And after everyone sang a song, they go like that. Why? Because there were noise level laws there saying after whatever time, 9 o'clock, no noise. Now everyone screams. The commercials scream, the television people scream, everyone screams, kids scream, and you don't need more concentration. When they say we're going to have entertainment level sound, a movie has, which is too loud, has 80, 85. A concert entertainment level sound has 110.
If you can kind of wrap it up too, because your 2 minutes were up, so if you can.
Don't give a new license out. They're trying to scam you into saying they're not deli, but they're selling liquor and vomit.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Okay, so that was all the speaker forms I had. Anyone else before we move on? Okay, and anyone else online? Last chance, raise your Zoom hand. Seeing none, okay, we're gonna move back to the applicants to give them a chance to respond to what they just heard.
Seth,
would you like to respond to anything you just heard?
Seth?
Sure. You know, Patrick, Bridget, everyone that commented, we hear your comments. This is not a Trojan horse. We are first and foremost an art gallery. That being said, I'd like to change that traditional art gallery model a little bit. You know, you walk into an art gallery, it's a white box, it's intimidating. You walk in and you walk out. What I'm trying to do is build a community and enhance the neighborhood. I'd like to create a relaxed environment, you know, and have flowing conversations and connections. There is no intent whatsoever of coming back and applying for a full liquor license. We have no intention to come back and ask to extend the time beyond 12 a.m. We are not a bar. We are a fully functional art gallery.
And Clint, we're willing to stipulate to that.
Else you'd like to add? Seth, Sheila, Frank?
Sorry, Clint?
Anything else you would like to add? Just.
I'd like to speak. First of all, I thank everyone that did come out to the board meeting today to speak out on their feelings about Studio 6 and what we hope to bring to the community here. I personally, I'm a licensed social worker in the state of New Jersey, and I hope to be licensed in the state of New York. One of the things that we hope to bring to our programming here at Studio 6 are programs for the community, such as art therapy and work with the children, also during the summers and things to that effect. The liquor license, again, was more or less an accommodation because, as everyone knows, when you go to a gallery show, there, you know, everyone comes and drinks wine and they, you know, it's very social. So it was to be able to do that while we present the art to the community. So we are not a bar. We don't plan to operate as a bar. And it was just something that we felt to be able to check all the boxes so that we can come into the community and do what we plan to do and hopefully be a successful business going forward. Thank you.
And to clarify Sheila's comments, so wine and beer license only.
Correct, yes.
Which was stipulated that we will never upgrade. We want to do an art gallery.
And from what I understand, in order to have wine and beer, you also have to serve certain finger foods. So that was why we accommodated with food. We're not a restaurant, we're not a bar. So it was to be able to accommodate all the things so that we can operate as a fully functional art gallery, as well as a community space for our local artisans.
And we had nothing to do with Cheese Grill.
Members, do we have anyone have any comments, questions?
I think I like the concept. However, the whole DJ and live music is probably not a good fit in an previous unlicensed space.
Okay.
Can I say something to that I forgot to mention? I apologize. After hearing the residents' comments, I've been texting with Seth. We agreed to limit the live music and the DJ to no more than 4 times a month, with it ending nightly at 11 o'clock.
Okay. Okay, other committee members?
I'm a no under any circumstance.
What?
I'm a no.
Okay,
So for your consideration.
okay. Megan, you look like you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I mean. It's only beer and wine, but my concern is that we have a ton of art galleries in this neighborhood, and it might set a precedent for the art galleries that already exist.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of successful art galleries already in our neighborhood that seem to do fine without a liquor license of any type.
And, you know, I'd like to add that you mentioned people having wine at the shows. You don't need a beer and wine license to serve the wine. You need to sell the beer and wine, which is apparently what you want to do. And well, that's a good catering license, but it's still not, it's not a regular beer and wine license. None of the galleries have it, and all of the galleries serve wine there. So,
Clay, could you say that again? I can't understand you.
so what I was saying was that, you know, all of our galleries that we have, none of our, and I'm, don't quote me 100%, but I'm 99% sure that we do not have an art gallery in CB3 that has a full, or a beer and wine license, period. And all of our galleries serve wine at their openings or their events, and they get the license from the state. It's not a beer and wine license to sell, it's to serve at the galleries. They all do that, and that's all legal, but I think what we're concerned about is the fact that a beer and wine license to sell, and I get it, but looking at your layout, I mean, you're not, this doesn't appear to be just ancillary and auxiliary to the art. You're having a full bar. You know, not a full bar. You're actually having a sit-down bar, not a full bar. Saying you're actually putting a bar in there. You're having a pool table in there. I mean, I definitely want to make it more of a social thing, but that really seems to me to be going a little bit away from an art gallery. And while I appreciate that concept, and if that's something you want to explore, I think you picked the completely wrong area to do that in. If that's something you wanted to do, it could, I'm not going to say for or against, but if that was something that would ever be considered, at least by me, I don't think this is ground zero of the bars and restaurants and the problems we have in community ward 3 and basically almost in the entire city. So this is not a place where we're going to be experimenting or loosening reins to try something new. So, yeah, I'm just really concerned because one, it's also an unlicensed location. If that's something you were interested in doing, if you pick a licensed location, maybe it's something I would be willing to consider. But in an unlicensed location, even though it's only beer and wine, I just don't think this is something that I can support. Even though I can appreciate your concept, I just don't think in this location that I can personally support it, and that's my opinion.
I just want to say, Clint, I'm not arguing with you. Believe me, I'm not. You may not have any in CB3. I think I've done 5 art galleries with liquor, 4 with wine and beer, 1 with liquor citywide. You may not have any in your board.
No, I'm not disputing that can happen. I'm not saying it never exists, but I just think, especially in this area, I don't know. I really don't think I could do that in affectionately what we call Expo Square.
Yeah, part of the reason for the pool table is to create, you know, an experience where there's a community and people are allowed to be there and to relax and hang out. And if it's a pool table that is, you know, is taking us away from an art gallery, you know, I would scratch the pool table. We're an art gallery. I just want to create a place where artists and collectors can come and relax and share stories. And if it's a pool table that is throwing you from an art gallery, we'll scratch a pool table. We want to sell art, and we want to create a community of artists and collectors.
Okay, I think Susan had a comment.
I wanted to go back to what Megan said about the other art galleries. This is an area that's known for their art galleries. It's promoted, art gallery walks and that kind of thing. If one of them is gonna start having a license, then it's 20 or 30 more with the license because they won't be able to compete. It won't be a level playing field. So there may be others in the city, but this group down here, that is not what they do, and it would change everything.
I think it's also, an issue that we can't have, if we start this, it's gonna open the floodgates. I agree. Okay, anyone else before we?
I had a question. When you guys say you're gonna be promoting an art therapy scene, what do you guys, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, we're still considering programming for what we were hoping to bring to the gallery. So it's kind of a work in progress. I know that Seth has done programs in the past at his studio, if he would like to speak toward that, where he did do programs, especially during COVID, where he had children. He ran an art program for them so that families can still enjoy art while being kept indoors during COVID. Would you like to talk more about your program, Seth?
Sure. I mean, I was awarded the Presidential Volunteer Award years ago for my work with Free Arts New York City Programming, which is an organization that brings arts and crafts to children in need. So I have a lot of experience creating programming in mentorship and arts volunteering. During COVID, I set up an art clinic which gave coloring books and crayons to kids, that allowed them to stay creative while being trapped indoors. So, part of what I believe is creating an art community is, starting young and helping the youth. And, I think that, it would take a month or two to get going, but once we're set up and running, I would love to have programs where, we can be educating and mentoring kids in art.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, I think
Wait, Clint, can I add something?
Go ahead, Frank.
Just, so wine and beer license, we've stipulated that it always stays a wine and beer license. We stipulated that it will always be operated as an art gallery. We will never increase the hours. We will never upgrade to full liquor. Having said all of that, on a wine and beer license, you're not seriously considering disapproving this application. On a wine and beer license, when I'm offering you all these steps, Clint, that won't be there in 8 months at the full board. Am I right? So let's cut to the chase. We're willing to get rid of the DJs altogether.
What you meant that
and do the live music 6 times a month. That's all.
the steps won't be there at the full. I'm not sure what you mean. The steps won't be there at the full board.
If this application is disapproved, then I'm going to have to get it approved at the full board based upon my client's experience during the temporary permit. Correct? I'm saying we're trying to make a deal with you here tonight.
And you have every right to go to the SLA, and you have every right to come to the SLA in opposition. So we haven't made our decision yet that I know of, but just, I
don't know what else to do. I'm now dropping the DJs. They've turned it on their own without my knowledge into more of a daytime business, which I wasn't even aware of. We've got our covenants on what we'll do and how we'll operate.
In response to the fact that you're stipulating, which I don't even think it's legal to stipulate that you'll never upgrade. I think the law says you always have the right to upgrade or make a change. So I don't think it's actually legal for us to put a stipulation in there that you will never upgrade to a full liquor.
Clint, that's not true.
It's not with ours.
But it's not, anyways. That's kind of beside the point. The other thing is, once there's a license there, once you're gone, the license stays there. So it's
a wine and beer license.
Exactly. So with all the stipulations. So anyways, I think, I mean, we're right here, I think it's the committee, does anyone want to make a motion? No, sorry, we're moving to a motion. Sorry, please, let us go. Okay. You making a motion or?
Oh, no, I thought you were.
No, I said, does anyone want to make a motion?
To vote. Or
What are the odds that SLA approves this with, our typical administrative steps?
If I'm not
Likely.
Sorry.
I mean, so you're asking that we would put stipulations on that he says they're not gonna sign, and then it would be denied because they refuse to sign our stipulations and go to the SLA in that regard.
Yes, yes. Like if we gave them what we usually give for admin approval, just the beer and wine, no DJs, no live music.
Which he said they're not giving up DJs, so they probably wouldn't sign, and that would be a denial, and we'd still have to go to the SLA to fight that. So, Susan?
I'm gonna say that means that every art gallery down there is gonna have to,
Yeah.
in order to compete, is gonna
Yeah.
have to go
Yeah.
down that discussion.
Second.
And as far as the steps, I mean, you're gonna go up there anyway, and say these are the issues.
Yeah, and we have an I mean, in this case, we have an organized group of residents that would probably attend.
Hypothetically, like, we kind of opened up a can of worms about licensing among art galleries. What if an art gallery came to us for admin steps?
It doesn't have to be heard. We can pull an admin approval. If it's not, approval is for a food-based business. This is not a food-based business.
It's supposed to be for the rest of the time.
It's primarily for a restaurant. It's a food-based business is what our admin approval is for.
Most galleries can't sponsor food,
So-
but they have that. for
Yeah,
business.
they don't.
Okay, was anyone willing to make a motion? It would be a motion, yeah. Yes. Okay, what was your motion, Guillermo?
to put this to the vote.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
What was your motion?
Clint.
Oh.
Hey, Clint,
Oh. To deny.
Okay.
Clint will abide by the administrative approval steps.
I still don't think, I mean, I'm thinking to myself that, thank you for that offer, but that doesn't change my vote, or doesn't change anything for me. Okay, so Guillermo, there's a motion on the table, Guillermo's made a motion to deny. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Megan second, move to a vote, Stephen Ballinger,
Yes.
Megan Joy,
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes, Guillermo Zaviglia.
Yes.
Okay, so motion denied. Frank, we won't send you stipulations. We will eventually see you with the SLA. I assume, but you can always, that's up to you. So,
Thanks, guys. Have a great month.
thank you. Okay. Moving to. Moving to item number 9, 141 Sport Incorporated at 141 Christie Street. Applicants, I think, are here. You're the applicants, correct?
There's no one on Zoom.
Thank you.
Is anyone?
Donald's on Zoom.
Okay, Donald's your attorney. Donald is here. I can remember that. So, Donald.
Isn't that right? Christian.
Yes, number 9, 141 Sport Inc. 141 Christie Street.
Yeah, hi,
Hi, welcome back, Donald.
thanks. I want me to present?
Sure, I was just gonna get it open and read it, but we can probably more familiar. You want to give a summary of what they're proposing? Everyone, hold on a second. I think Stephen just stepped away for the restroom.
Is Rich and Dave there? Are Rich and Dave there?
Sorry, they're right to the side of the camera that you can't see them, but they are here in person. Okay, okay, Steve's back. You want to go ahead, Donald?
All right, thanks. Thanks, everyone. Donald Bernstein for the applicant. This is 141 Christie Street. It's a 2-story commercial building. There's some kind of avocado joint in the building, and The rest of the space we are taking, so it's not residential at all. Rich Kim should be here, Dave Turner, and I think some of Rich's partners and Dave's partners are with you tonight. This is going to be a new application for an American-style restaurant. Another applicant appeared before you, Footy House, back in 2022. You approved that application for a new license. A stipulation was signed. They went to the State Liquor Authority. A temporary permit was issued, but there were some issues with that license. It ended up being withdrawn. Rich was not directly involved in that, but was peripherally involved, not as an operator, but involved in one of the investment wings. And when the space became available, he saw this as an opportunity to put together a team and make a new application. You may remember Dave Turner. He's got a number of licenses, including the flower shop at I think it's 105 Eldridge. So Rich has teamed with Dave because he wants to have an experienced operator who knows the neighborhood, who knows this district, and they'll be working together. They're going to occupy 2 floors. There are a total of 104 seats. The hours will be Sunday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. to midnight, and Thursday, Saturday, 8 a.m. until 2 a.m. There is basically going to be background recorded music, but they do want to have the opportunity to have DJs for private events or special programming. There are some large screen TVs in the space, which you'll see. One of the things that they like and will want to focus on are some soccer matches, so they're going to show some of those. It's not a sports bar, it's a restaurant that has a full menu, but they want to be able to show those, so there are going to be some monitors within the space. I think we've sent you some of the petition signatures that we have gotten. And with that, I thought I would just let Rich speak to you for just a couple of minutes so he can introduce himself.
Just please go. I don't know what, this isn't, is there a mic over on the table? Yeah, just mainly so that people on Zoom, even though apparently our audio sound is awful tonight, and I apologize for that, but here we are, so.
All right, cool. Stephen, Megan, Clay, and Guillermo, Susan, thanks for having me down here. My name is Rich Kim. Like Alan said, I got introduced to the prior business through the soccer community back in 2023. The opportunity arose this year to start a restaurant. That was really exciting to me. And so the next step for me was to find the right partners to operate the space, and needed to be people who were experienced in hospitality and had a long history in the community. And so I was lucky enough to meet the our team and get Michael. And so yeah, I'm really excited to come before and just bring the application for the restaurant, kind of the focus on soccer. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, any other members of your team wanted to speak before we move to the public? Because there are some people, I think, here in person, and I think there may be some people so far online. If you're here online to speak to this item for or against, please go ahead and raise your Zoom hand. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Dave Turner. We're co-applicant the FHD industry, along with Lonnie Flynn and Ron Hales, who have been my partner in the flower shop, also Little Ways in CD2. We've been open for roughly 10 years through COVID and back open once again. And we were introduced via Dylan to Rich, who has the desire to take this space, operate as a restaurant. We have our chef Michael, who designed our menu. We've been awarded Good Gourmand by the Michelin. We have currently a very exciting activation with David Long, celebrity chef, who's doing a residency at the flower shop as well. I myself am not a huge soccer fan. However, I am an experienced operator. We do our very best to ensure that the tenants that are in our building, our staff, the people that frequent our restaurant are treated with the utmost respect. You know, we have respect for the neighborhood. Obviously, from time to time, we do have issues. We do take those to heart, and we do work with the clerks, whether the city, individuals, to ensure that they're rectified in a timely fashion to mutual satisfaction. So from, I think that pretty much wraps up our involvement in, making a consideration.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move to, we definitely have, some people signed up here to speak. Thomas, and is it Joseph? Joseph? Yes, sir. Yes, thank you. Again, we're gonna give you 2 minutes, hopefully everyone.
It'll be very brief. Oh, good evening. My name is Thomas Joseph. I'm currently employed as a lieutenant in NYPD. I've served in the department 21 years. Just to let you know, when I'm speaking here, I'm not speaking on behalf of the department. I'm speaking right now on behalf of a resident of New York City and a supporter of small businesses. A brief history of me. I've dealt with many community boards. I work in the police service area 4 and special operations lieutenant, so I know community board 3 very well. I was a special ops relations lieutenant in the Bronx and in community 110 over there. So I know how the state liquor licenses and community board actions happen. I was asked today to speak on behalf of 2 of the applicants, or the partners of the applicants, Dylan Hales and Andrew Flynn. I've known them for almost a decade. They have 2 thriving businesses in the confines of Community Board 3 and 5th Precinct, Little Ways, a restaurant on West Broadway, and they also have a restaurant / bar called Flower Shop. We're trying to open a location in the confines of 5th Precinct, 141 Christie Street, which is by Christie and Delancey. It's a very busy area. But I personally believe, and being a resident of New York and a small business supporter, I really believe that area needs ownership that are experienced. And if you see the 2 businesses that they own, Flower Shop and Little Ways, both of those businesses have ingratiated themselves into the community. And I know firsthand that they have community events there. They work very well with the community board and the community and 5th Precinct. And that's the type of business ownership we want in that area. You want people that are experienced, that understand how to run proper security, how to run a business, not allow things to get out of hand, and have good interaction with the police department. So I can say confidently, these are the type of people you want to open a business there. And I would absolutely support an application put forth by them. Okay,
Great, thank you very much. Next, we have Richard Kim. I think actually you signed up, you just signed the speaker form, but okay, I don't really do that, but thank you. Penny Shi. Please go ahead and use the microphone.
My name is Kenneth Shi. I was born and raised in the neighborhood of Chinatown East Side my whole life, so I'm very familiar with the streets. I also own 2 businesses on Elwood Street next to the flower shop. I own the sandwich board and then a boba tea shop 2 stores down. They've been nothing but good neighbors. Whenever the block gets rowdy at night, their security always takes care of their shop and also the neighbors too. They check in on neighbors, make sure everyone's okay. I'm very familiar with Christie Street, and right now that street isn't the best because the Lancey's right there, the park is right there. So bringing new life to Christie Street, I think, is very important. One of my friends actually owns a restaurant there and a potluck club, and he deals with the chaos of the Lancey Street and the park. So I think bringing new life to that street is very important.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kenny. David Turner, which I think you already spoke, so that's great. Is it Emo Pop? Yep. Emo Poppins?
Emil, yes.
Emil Poppins?
Hey guys, my name is Emil Poppins. I lived above the flower shop for like 4 to 5 years when it first opened. They were always good about noise, like Kenny said, they kept the sidewalk open, they checked on everybody else. And another business in the area, as long as Kenny's is always good, so I'm here to support them.
Great, thank you very much. Next, we have, I think, David Brown.
Hi, my name is David Brown. I'm the employment worker in Marshall Road, the Allen Hotel, on Allen Street. I've been to the flower shop as a customer, but also send my clients there all the time. I have nothing but good reviews coming down there, and it loves it. It's organized. It's not chaos, unlike some bars in the neighborhood. When I heard that when I opened another restaurant as a hotel operator, it kind of excited me some different locations to send people to an upscale restaurant, because we have nice restaurants down here, but it'd be nice to send someone to like a nice upscale restaurant not $100 a plate, but still that experience. So when I heard about this, I wanted to support them, and I've seen what they've done with the flower shop. Like I said, I live in the neighborhood, work in the neighborhood. I got home liquor license with the hotel group with this neighborhood, and it's nothing but pleasure. I want to keep the small business going.
Great, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, and that was it for speakers in person, and one more time quickly before we move from Zoom, anyone on Zoom? Okay. So, moving on. Okay, committee members, anyone have any questions? Okay, well, I didn't figure that out. I have a couple things. So I know you spoke about, I think, Donald, you mentioned the existing location that was there, they were operating under temp license. I know the SLA came in, there was several different issues. I don't know if it ever rose to the level of violations because there was a temp license and I know they withdrew it. So I'm not sure about the resolution or everything, but I know there's a bunch of issues. I know you said you were kind of tangentially involved in it. I guess you were aware of what went on, you're clear on that, of what can happen. I think, and if I remember correctly, it had to do with they were also running it as a private club, and then there was a bar, and there was confusion around that, and I think the SLA inspector came in and they were serving liquor where they weren't supposed to, etc. So anyways, just making sure that even though you were sort of involved, that you're clear on what can happen.
Yeah, if I kind of just address that, I didn't do the other license, I didn't represent them, but one of the issues was the kitchen wasn't built, so they weren't serving food as they were supposed to. There was an issue about the corporate structure that had changed, which the lawyer who did that had explained it. But Rich was not involved in any aspect of operations at all. There was an investment arm. He managed the investment arm. He was in charge or oversaw some of the money. He had nothing to do with operations, nothing to do with any of those issues. I'm not aware of any violation that was issued. I just.
And so I did forget to mention that we did receive one email. It was for this item, but it wasn't specifically addressing. It was more just saying that Christie Street is getting out of control and they were opposed to any new licenses. So just to mention, there was one email received. I also think I heard there was some concerns from I think some people in the community, though no one's here, about the rooftop use. I don't think, are you planning on using the rooftop? You're not planning on it because I didn't see it. I saw the questionnaire. So you're not planning on using the rooftop at all?
No, nothing at all.
So it won't be open to the public. Is it open? Are you using it commercially or it's nothing? It's just for mechanical. Okay.
I think the issue was they were using it at some point for that. And to be honest, our actual opinion on it is that it's quite ugly out there, frankly, and it's also impossible to operate without having noise complaints. So we have no desire to operate at all, even if it's part of events, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. That is that. So, I think those are generally kind of the things that I was going to question. Anyone else have any questions or comments?
No one wants to.
And no one to do any committee member?
I think that law could really use experienced operators on it. I mean, it gets a little dicey over there.
The park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really bad. Their hours are reasonable. Yeah.
And just for everyone's knowledge, we did approve the license, and again, it was operating under temp. They never went forward, so as far as being previously licensed, but it was approved and licensed, temp license per se. So it's not, we can.
So footing house never opened?
They did, but there was issues, and then I think after that withdrew. They were open for a period of time, but that was.
Did we approve them for the same steps as this applicant?
And I actually meant to pull from earlier because for some reason I couldn't find it online in our minutes.
I don't remember.
But
That was kind of.
I was just gonna say, I was online with, it was in August of 2022 was when it was approved. And for some reason I went through the August of 2022 minutes and they weren't in there. So I'm not sure what.
I remember the SLA, didn't the SLA license?
In the end, yes, but we did approve it when they got their temp license. I'm still looking, I couldn't find the shit and I meant to actually pull the hard copy before the meeting. So, I mean, that's fine, I think we can match it up, I'm also fine just looking at what they've submitted and making sure that we're okay with that, and if there's any minor changes, I don't have a major issue with that. If anyone else feels differently, that's. So, is that? Everyone's okay with that? Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up the stipulations that we kind of put together based on the questionnaire. Okay, let me make this more legible. Okay, so we should have the stipulations on the screen. So it's Richard, I actually have one question though, legally about the name. So it's on your questionnaire. When you had two corporations or two names listed, it was 141. Hold on your questionnaire, you had two corporation names. You had 141 Sport Incorporated and FHT Industries LLC.
We're co-applicants. FHT Industries is we're
So-
co-applicant with Rich Gibb.
Okay, so can we do that? Can we have a code? I don't think we've ever had that before. Donald, if you have a question for you, Donald.
I couldn't hear that.
You know, they have this on their questionnaire, they had.
Yeah, we have 141 Sport Inc. and FHT Industries LLC as co-applicants.
Yes, so that's legally, the SLA allows that to, we've never had that before, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's very common to have co-licenses.
It's not a major issue, I just wasn't sure, like I said, we haven't seen that, so. Okay, so I'll go back to the stipulations. So it's Richard Kim is qualified representative of 141 Sport Inc. and then FHT. So I guess in this case, we need to put both.
Well, I mean, Rich is not a representative of that other entity, it's the management company, so.
Okay, so how, I guess legally then, it just stays at 141 Sport?
I think that should be sufficient because it's still binding, it's going to be binding on the license.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at 141 Sport Inc. then. Okay, so it's Richard Kim, qualified representative of 141 Sport Inc. located at 141 Christie Street. Will be a full liquor license, will operate a full service restaurant, specifically an American soccer focused restaurant with kitchen open serving food during hours of operation. The hours of operation will be 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. You will not use the outdoor space for commercial use. You will employ a doorman if needed. You close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. every night or when the flight sound is playing. And then you are planning on having DJs, correct?
Yes.
And the DJs, I assume, are going to be at entertainment level. Was that the DJ will be at entertainment level or at background music level?
Guys, so background level means basically neighbors can't hear it. Entertainment level is louder.
Yeah. Well, to clarify, it can still be entertainment level. You just need to have soundproofing so you're not disturbing the neighbors. So that's
We don't want the neighbors here.
We don't want the neighbors to hear regardless of whether it's entertainment or background. Yeah. Conversational restaurant level. Entertainment is club level where it's loud. So you're proposing that, which is again, I don't know this was problem with either one, you're just clarifying which so you will have DJs, you will not have live music, third-party permitted events, any event which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances, and not more than 2 private parties per week. And just to clarify, we consider a private party as a full buyout of the entire place, not just a birthday party in one section. It's a full buyout of the entire restaurant. You're planning on 2 of those per week? Is that?
I'd say not more than 2. That's
yeah.
That would be the most.
Okay, and just because in some ways that's a lot for maybe what we normally see. So when you're talking about a private event, because this is also where we sometimes encounter some issues, because with private events, If it's something where, and I get it, you're a soccer, so you're probably gonna be showing soccer matches.
That means like a full buyout of your venue.
But
Yeah, okay.
okay, but what are you talking, what type, like, when you're talking about these full buyouts, what, because the only time you see it as being a problem.
Yeah.
If it's something where people are, it's when large crowds come and leave all at once, so more so for like.
Yeah, I don't anticipate it's something that's, 2 events per week, 52 weeks a year. There's perhaps the World Cup is coming up next year, that's gonna be on for a month or two and might have some more programming then. Typically the soccer matches, happen in the European time zone, so those can be earlier during the day for us, so. Yeah, I don't think we'll be.
And I don't know that that was more of a clarifying question. I don't know if anyone specifically has a problem with the 2 private events a week. It's more than what we usually see. I don't know. Given the nature of your business, I don't know that it's an issue, but.
I think most of the full buyouts are going to be corporate related events as well, so strictly run sort of scenarios, not like.
Could have to be a heavy, maybe dark, it's crazy, or alcohol.
Yes, it's things like that, doing private viewing events and dinners and things like that.
And what, so I guess just one more clarification question about that. Are they gonna, Are they gonna be late night events? Is this gonna be something that's gonna be, because I'm just trying to gauge the impact on the surrounding community, because if there's large crowds coming and leaving at once, that's where it becomes a problem, but. I don't know if we'll discuss it enough. I think, does anyone have a problem with the 2 events a week?
No.
I don't. Okay, so that's fine. We don't need to discuss it any further. And so we're not checking off on the record music because you are having DJs. So we are going to note under here, we're saying you're allowed to have DJs, but we're going to note that DJs will be at background level. Okay. You'll not apply to an operation without coming to CB3. Will not participate in pub crawls or party buses. Will not have unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches. You will have a happy hour that will end by 9 p.m. You'll not have wait lines. You'll have a staff person responsible for ensuring no noise, loitering, or crowds. You'll post a stipulation. Residents may contact the owner manager at the number below, and it's Richard Kim at 614-744-2120.
Is that Donald's number?
Is that?
My number is different.
Okay, I can change, I can correct that.
Yeah, you can change it.
Yep.
414.
Yep.
467.
Yeah.
3215.
Okay, perfect. Everything look okay, Donald? Everything look okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Committee, everyone, we're all on the same page?
Yes.
Okay. And the only thing, I mean, I know you mentioned no, you're not planning on using the roof, and just, you did agree to no outdoor space for commercial use, so that includes the roof, that includes the sidewalk, that includes the roadbed. You do have, I mean, and that's with this application, say you always have the right to come back and apply for part of the restaurant, but right now you're saying you will not apply, you're not using it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to move to.
For the roadway.
Yeah, exactly, that's not like they're probably using the street or roadbed.
It's like.
That's also like, yeah, that's everything's in behind and so there's no, you're keeping this, yeah.
Still an active avocado store in the front?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move to a vote. Stephen?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Clint, yes? Yes. Okay, so resolution passes. Don will be sending out the stipulations with instructions on getting it returned to us. And I think that's everything.
All right, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Committee, before we go, we have one more item which hopefully. Thank you. Hey, very much. I know that has broke down through. Oh, and I know the two were today. Okay, I didn't hear much. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. The last one, through, and the other one. Let's just make sure we didn't skip anyone because I've done that once before. Really? We closed, someone was someone was on Zoom and apparently at the end, we called them originally, they weren't there and they closed the meeting, moved on. So they were just not to come back. No, we got them all. So we have one last thing, we have the district needs statement. I think we briefly mentioned in the last month's meeting, but Susan, do you have copies?
Yeah.
So we have copies of Susan in the office put together a draft with some changes based on last year's, including updating some statistics and also some things that have changed based on the open restaurants program and the city of yes.
So I did this very quickly this morning. And what I did basically was take out an awful lot because we are no longer real post-COVID. Right. So I just took out an awful lot of stuff. Left very little in, you can see what's left in. So I'm not saying much of anything. The statistics, you see the one stat for commercial noise complaints. That actually is like a 200 complaint decrease from last year, but it really has to be updated. The fiscal year ends June 30th, and when we update all those statistics, July 1st. So now I don't know what you guys want to say. I really, as you can see, basically just took out stuff. And I started a little bit about the outdoor dining. What I would like to say about the outdoor dining is the city's doing city doesn't have resources to do what they are charged with doing. So everybody's mad. The applicants are, but there's also no resources for oversight. There's no resources for inspection. I've made complaints over a month ago that they haven't been able to inspect yet. That were kind of serious. And we did 2 weeks ago, Clint and I went on a walkthrough organized by our assembly person, Harvey Epstein, the police and the SLA. And we did a walkthrough on avenues A, B, and C. And not only were our 10 o'clock stipulations totally ignored, but the city's 12 o'clock closing was totally ignored. It was amazing. I mean, at 1 o'clock, it was an outdoor party. The city, they plans that businesses submitted for their outdoor, they weren't compliant with their own plans. But the biggest problem was restaurants had tables lined up on the sidewalk at the curb, so that they had tables by the restaurants and then by the curb, so it's very little sidewalk space left. And it's just kind of appalling that the city is creating a program that it can't enforce, it can't oversight. I'm not saying even that people should get fines, but there should be people out there saying, hey, you're not allowed to do this. This is what you're promised to do there. Yeah.
And part of the issue was when DOT took over this program was that they were going to have, they were mismanaged before. DOT said we have more inspectors, and they were saying that they were going to be much better than the previous program. And to this point, it hasn't been super successful on all sides, whether it's the residents, whether it's the businesses, whether it's the police. There's just been.
When DCA handled sidewalk cafes, there were not problems.
Yes.
There just weren't problems.
Prior to COVID, it was the Department of Consumer Affairs, which doesn't exist anymore, correct?
No, it does. They
took it all out. They changed their name. But the outdoor dining and even sidewalk cafes are no longer under the DCA. It's all under DOT. And it just doesn't seem to be working well. And that's outside of our control in some ways, but it's something we can do.
If we could, maybe you want to take a few minutes to see what's there, see if there's anything. I see a pass. In the middle of the last part, there's a passcode that I was copying and pasting from the hearing I was in this morning. I was at a hearing this morning testifying for more money for community boards.
When,
We feel like it says like the second sentence is like the shutdown significantly affected communities, but we didn't talk about the shutdown. Like if you cross off that bit.
Okay.
It's. How do we
Oh,
ask,
yeah.
right? It's referring to a shutdown that we didn't talk about earlier.
Well, I actually thought it might maybe change the word. What I do think it led into is the fact that we're now hearing more applications for
So
unlicensed places.
maybe you should say during, the pandemic significantly affected many of the communities in drinking.
Or one result from the pandemic or something like that.
One result we are still feeling, or we need something like that. I know what you're doing. I think we could leave that and adjust. the
Yeah,
language.
some of the things that we.
What I was gonna ask you, we didn't introduce this. So we have this draft tonight for our June meeting. What is the timeline for the?
We should be finalizing it next month.
Okay,
We're not voting on it because then after that, not this committee, but the rest of the board votes on budget priorities in October. But, and so we vote on everything all at once, but this should be basically finalized next month. So I don't know if there's anything, other types of things. One thing I want to say post-COVID that we've seen different is, I think the reasons that you're seeing more applications for unlicensed places is because the other kinds of businesses went out of business during COVID and they couldn't come back.
And places that like Amazon compete with.
Yeah, and they never came back. Amazon has taken over. You also see, I think a lot more corporate landlords, the small landlords here.
Yeah, they bought everything.
Yeah, small landlords couldn't survive COVID. So those, they were taken over by a different type of landlord. Like we have some businesses, both eating, drinking and otherwise, who say, oh, I have a great deal, my landlord loves me. You don't see that with the new landlords.
Right.
So those are not direct results that were, that affect this, but that's kind of what you're seeing here. And I think that's why you're seeing so many unlicensed places now becoming licensed.
can the other thing, and I don't, one thing that I feel like, and I guess I haven't gone back to look at the numbers, and I don't know if the office can pull this, I don't want to give you more work, but I feel like we're seeing a lot more upgrades from beer, wine to full liquor.
I don't have the resources. What you can do is you could go through every agenda every month and see how many upgrades there are. We can't do that, but if someone wants to.
But I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out if is it something, I mean, it's something I've noticed, but I don't know if it's something we need to include in our district needs statement. I don't really know that. I mean, I guess what it's showing is.
I think that's something more to consider as far as policy.
Yes, maybe, so that's what I mean, maybe it's not just a need issue, but it's.
So next month, we didn't do it this month, but next month we should have 2 meetings again.
Yes.
One for licenses and one to finish the policy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should definitely ask for more enforcement. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we should, and I think that was in there before, and I left that in there. Our mayor doesn't believe in enforcement for.
So I wonder.
You have in here, I wear a quote from the police department about.
Yeah, so you left that, I knew you left that in.
The non-important policy dictated to him what could be in the.
Yeah, that's a quote in writing.
And I think, and one thing that I think, and this was discussed on our walkthrough, but I think, and maybe we need, because this is part of the problem we're having is, even if it's not one specific bar that's a restaurant or business is a huge problem, but there's a lot of little problems that are just adding up to problem areas. So if it's just one place in particular, it may not be a big issue, but it's all this incremental spaces, like everyone's being a little bit loud, and that little bit loud then just becomes.
Yeah, try and think of a few sentences.
So I think that's something I feel like to add in here, so I can.
You want to try and do that?
So maybe what we can do, if we can, we can email this around to all the committee members.
No, it just becomes a private meeting. I mean, the way you do it, but you can't go back and forth.
No, I mean, we'll email this, and then if everyone wants to then take a look at it, I'm not saying we're gonna go back and forth with it, but everyone wants to take a look at this, put some thought into it between now and the July meeting, and come with any comments.
I would say we email the comments.
Yeah, email the comments
before the meeting. So we could collate them, see if there's anything that have to be checked. So the point, this is unmet needs, it's not policy, it's unmet needs, we're kind of describing the situation. And then unmet needs.
And this is what, sometimes some of our elected officials will use this for, and it's a little interesting for us as the SLA because we don't have direct, some of the other committees are more, education, schools, that kind of stuff. We're a little bit more.
They lead directly into a city agency.
We're a little bit more removed from that. So our district needs statement is always a little bit less direct, for lack of a better word, than some of the other committees, but.
Do you guys have any thoughts on, like, it just reminded me again when they were talking about the horn honking at like, the horn honking at 3 a.m. And it's because everyone's trying to get their Ubers at the same time. And I, like, that, Ludlow Court, first of all, I don't understand, right?
Having in 3rd Street.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't understand why you can't make a left-hand turn from Essex Street to get onto the bridge. Like, you could only make a left-hand turn from Ludlow. So all these.
Oh, yeah.
So all these taxis,
but they have discussed it
on
a transportation.
Why?
I don't remember.
Busiest street.
But they do have reasons. I'm not saying they're good or bad reasons. They do have reasons, but it has been discussed ad nauseam at transport. You should speak to me about it. See if
I feel like I've been talking about this for years too. Like, if they could just get Uber pickups, like taxi stands or like central locations to go on Essex and Allen, the big wide streets on the outside, and pull some of that traffic from the heart of.
So why don't you come to the transportation committee or speak to and ask that? Let's, instead of discussing it, that's so it's not the agenda, it's being put it on the agenda.
Like that that's the real issues with traffic in that neighborhood.
Well, and maybe I think where you're going is maybe when you incorporate something in there that, increase, with the increase in bars and the increase of late night patrons, it causes congestion, which causes horn. I think that's where you're going with it.
That has to go to the transportation.
But that's, yeah, because that.
Then sanitation needs, we have more sanitation needs because of.
We don't get those complaints. Well, we do like Sunday morning, you walk down Avenue A on Sunday morning, it's a disaster. But we have that actually in our sanitation, I believe, or we used to, and we should.
Right, and I also don't think, it's on the sidewalk, usually what people are complaining about, like.
It's the overflowed trash cans.
Oh, okay.
Which creates rats.
Right,
That's a question.
Someone raised their hand, is this, I don't even know. Yeah, I guess should we let them speak?
Ask if they had 2 minutes to comment on the district needs statement.
Gary C, we're gonna go ahead and promote you. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Gary. Do you have some comments on the district needs statement that we're discussing now?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, are you guys gonna talk about 302 Broom Street? I know that was there was a note on our door.
That item was withdrawn. It may or most likely will be heard next month, but at the moment it's been withdrawn for this month. Sorry that you had to wait through that, but it was withdrawn.
It was withdrawn, okay. Okay, thank you.
It may be back next month or sometime in the future, but it was withdrawn from tonight.
Probably be on next month.
It'll probably be on for next month, but it was withdrawn tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you're gonna do a few sentences. I forget what it was. So, and everyone else can see what they think is missing, what unmet need is missing. We can talk about it next month.
I'm gonna put a couple things about the upgrades and we're seeing.
Well, you need to check some of them. I mean,
Yeah.
we need to document. If we're gonna say it, we have to document.
Okay, so we'll send this around so that everyone can see, that everyone will have what the previous one was, what was struck, what we've added. Take a look at it, maybe some comments, to me or send them to me and copy the office or vice versa. And then.
Yeah, a week before.
At least a week before the meeting, sooner if possible, and just, we can see what we have at the next meeting, but I agree, a lot of the past couple district needs have been based around the COVID issues, and that's a lot of it's gone.
Okay, so just next month, do you want to, so we have to have 2 meetings next month. Do you want to do the district meeting at the same time as the policy? It seems to
That
make
makes sense.
sense.
Yeah,
I
I think that actually makes sense.
And I would, based on the comment that was made about administrative approval for the art gallery, I would like to suggest also considering the administrative approvals not only be food-based, but also maybe previously licensed.
We did, that was discussed at the last policy meeting, yeah, and I think that was.
Even
that was it.
administrative approvals.
Well, that was what was brought up when we were discussing the idea of having administrative approvals for full liquor.
Right, I would suggest it for both.
It would have to be previously licensed, but maybe that's a good point, maybe administrative, even for beer and wine. Is for previously licensed, and that way, if it's not previously licensed, even though it's beer and wine. Because
Sure.
I think that does make sense.
Yeah. Also, I didn't realize 188 Allen during COVID, it was like a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
But then they took the roadbed cafe, roadbed, and made it into an art gallery, which I reported. It was totally non-compliant. They were absolutely totally non-compliant. They actually came over here and picketed the community Instagram because we did report it, and this, city told them they had to take it down. But they were just blatantly non-compliant, and they were having, like parties out there at 4 a.m.
And, based on what we're seeing, he was associated with that in some capacity.
Yeah, DM said she sent you.
Yeah, she sent it to me. I forwarded it to
So
the.
I didn't realize it at the time, but he has a history of being blatantly non-compliant, and he did have an art gallery, and it was 100% party art gallery.
Well, anyways, anything else on the district needs? If not, we'll go to, if not, motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Okay. Steven?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Clint, yes. Guillermo?
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
And meeting just on the top.
End meeting, so I'm gonna end meeting and should.
Yeah, don't turn it off, we just